Okay, friends, we're going old school. I got some new batteries in the mail, and we are now recording on the previous GoPro that I used, and hopefully it still works and does everything we hope and dream of, but it certainly can't be any worse than this one that wants to shut off all the time. So we'll see how that goes. But I have some good news here, not despite, but in addition to the fact that all of this stuff is starting to melt, which makes me smile. Don't get my hopes up though, because it's gonna super hard freeze again in a couple days. But I took advantage of this warm up and thaw to work on something, and I'm going to show you right after this. All right, welcome back. If you hadn't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man, and I'm still a bird sanctuary. Apparently I hear them singing their song of sadness. But I was able to, this very day, in fact, get this corn sheller freed up. And I had it all turning, and the bottom thing took me a while going back and forth, and then I'd reach in and pull out some chunks of ice and stuff. And then we got to the point where that belt was way too loose, so I tightened it up, and life was grand, and I had it spinning there happily, and I thought, we have got us something. And then I went for broke and opened her wide open, and guess what happened? Well, it keeps throwing this chain off, and the old thing's got a lot of slack in it now. So I'm thinking that before we can do anything else, just based on looking at how it already is, and I don't remember if I've ever messed with it or not, but I think we ought to loosen it up all the way it can go and see if we can take out one link somewhere to tighten her up, and then push against it, make sure it's pulling straight. I also think that what we should do right away is fix this, because this is not, that ain't gonna work to have this just hanging out in the open. Now I'm trying to figure out what was the deal here, whether they took that off on purpose or whether it pulled through the hole. The hole doesn't really look that bad, so it makes me think they took it off on purpose, and then they lifted this up maybe for storage, which would be really handy because this thing takes up a lot of room when it's set up like this. If it was, you know, able to be auger folded vertical or something, I think it would take up less of a footprint. Be easier to find a place to stick it in the shed. But that is for another day. When you start looking at it real close, which I didn't even realize till I started looking at it real close, it's had a lot of repair done to it. There's a lot of welding on it in places and things that obviously have been of trouble at some point. But I think it'll be fine, and it'll work for us if we can just get this chain where it'll stay on, because if that doesn't stay on, then this whole operation has to go on pause here, because that won't work. We got to have a way to get rid of the cob pieces. So I'm thinking step number one is right there, and we're gonna see if we can I don't even know. I don't know what we're gonna find. Ooh. Wouldn't it be cool if a guy could reuse this bolt and didn't have to go find another one? I doubt that'll work that way, but you never know. The most likely thing is I'll get it almost all the way off, and then it will fall down inside and you'll never ever see it again. Alright, time to ditch the gloves. That was cute while it lasted, but not really. We'll be fine. Okay. I'm thinking, and that's dangerous. Well, number one, I somehow managed to get this stuck inside of this adjustable wrench, so that's dandy. That's what you strive for. But I'm wondering if I ought to get another washer here. I don't know, that seems pretty solid back there. And it fills up the hole in the back piece adequately, so maybe, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. But like I said, I just have a feeling that somebody attempted to fold it up, thinking that, if they did that, it would take up less room and their life would be so much happier. I also realized that you can't really get to the back side, apparently. I can't even. That's what I say. Can't hardly hold that back there. No room. Alright, I think that's more better. That made it a lot much more solid. So, that was part A. Now let's see if we can't get part B, which is going to be to get all of those loose, 2 on each side, and then the adjusters are already loose. The trouble I see we're going to have is those are carriage bolts, and I'm betting you that they ain't going to come loose without some serious cutting and torching and sadness. But we'll try. Well, you're just going to have to live with that view, because I don't know what else to. Oh my goodness, this is almost like a guy had these loose once before. Okay, so what I'm wondering now is if I ought to try to get those out and replace them with regular bolts, because I'm wondering if what's happened is they pulled crooked in the holes because they weren't able to be tightened all the way back when they were put in there, question mark. And I bet you the only one I'm going to get out is one of them. That really sucks. I ain't going to get that one out, that's for sure. And then the adjuster, I'm not real sure how that's actually 9/16. So what I'm wondering is, I put that there, put this here. I don't even know if you can you see what's happening? Maybe just barely. Yeah, we're gonna go loose first, and then we're going to go tight again. But we're gonna try to get it where we can get a square pull on it, because I think that's been our issue here. Also, I should have probably, well, it's okay. Would have been easier to work at on the ground, but there ain't really no good way to go about that. What just happened? Did I just twist that off? Or Or what? That would be bizarre if I did that. But I think I did. I wouldn't have guessed that one. I twisted the head part off because here's the washer that was on it. And now I got her stuck in the splendid. Splendid. Well, can't win them all, I guess. Let's go back to doing what we were doing, and let's loosen this up all the way we can for now. Okay. Let's see. Well, we know one of them's gonna come off. We just got to figure out how to get that pried out of there the rest of the way. Or we could skip it and, you know, pretend that one will come loose. Here will come loose. Sorry for the weird angles, but I just don't know what to do. Now, one thing I notice about this, using the old GoPro with these brand new batteries, granted this battery was only at 79% when I started. The charger that it came with 3 slots, so I got 3 out of 4 batteries charging. This one I put in and it was at 79%. I thought, that's great. But we've only recorded 15 minutes and we're down to 30%. So I don't have a lot of faith in these Chinesian batteries. I'm kind of afraid that it's probably not gonna work like we thought it was. That's why I brought the other camera, because I knew this one was low and it probably, yeah, I mean, we're just tanking like crazy. But that's okay. Here in a few weeks, I will try to order a new camera. And we'll get ourselves fixed up somehow. Now what I'm doing is trying to break the cast, in case that's not clear. Now what I'm really trying to do is put some tension on that carriage bolt to try to help myself keep it from turning. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that thing very goodly. I can just go ahead and take this one off. Like I said, I think I'm gonna switch from carriage bolts to actual bolts I can get a wrench on the back side and make sure that I get them tight. Fine tuning, you might say. If I do this right, I'll pop that piece off and break that. I see someone has brazed a piece of cast, or a piece of steel to a piece of cast, which we all know that works good all the time. So. But they had to have it, you know. Now, that's pretty good tension. If we just go back and forth till we get it loose enough where we could grab on it with a vice grip on the backside. Ah, nutsack. I mean, I got one problem here, and that's it. The others are all loose. And if it wasn't for this one problem, we would be set. Come on, you. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, God. So close. So close. Much as I love working above my head, it'd be real cute if you'd just come off of there. Did you get that to the face? Because that'd be cool. You're only at 19% now, so I'm saying you're probably going to go away pretty soon. We'll be switching to the other camera. Well, we might be able to grab it now on the backside with a vice grip. Maybe. But one thing's for sure, you ain't gonna make it to the end of this, so we'll switch cameras here in a second and then see what happens. So I probably should take advantage of this opportunity of taking a break. I'll get a vice grip, and I'll also find some bolts that we can use so that we can just go on our merry way with 5/16 fasteners. Yeah, because I'd say that's what we're gonna have to do. So cool. All right, we didn't have exactly what I wanted. We've got some stuff that I think will work. I just have to make this do what I want. And that thing that I want is to finish getting that one out of there to start with. Now, me not being able to really see what's happening needs to be able to attempt to clamp that head somehow, which I can't. I'm probably too closed up to even make an attempt at that here. Now, hopefully, me standing on this cultivator doesn't knock it over, because that would probably hurt a bunch. There we go. Oh, dude, son. I think it's out far enough though now that. There we go. Look at that. Factory certified. Now you're probably going to hit the deck because you're attached to the thing that I'm taking the bolts out. But sure. We can go ahead and put the bolts back in right away on that side to help hold it for us, if we can find it. Can we find the hole? Sometimes in life, that's the hardest part. There we go. We're also going to hope that these are short enough that they will, in fact, tighten up. Because all I had was some fairly long ones. That's right, folks. All I got is a fairly long one. Tell your friends. This one loose, perhaps. It's almost out of there. I'm going to save that washer. Perhaps. Put that one back in there. And then we're left with this struggle of sadness. Maybe that's why I should have went ahead and taken it all the way off, because of that broken one. I was hoping I could just pull it out of the... What is happening here? Well, let's scrap that idea and just start over. Or can we do it like that? We could probably work like this. Inappropriately. I'll try to put that through there. See if we can clamp on it. I'm depressed. I thought I was going to get this done tonight where we could actually throw some ears in it, but the sun is going away faster than progress is being made, so I'm gonna probably have to, either it's gonna be a part 2 or I'm gonna have to just wait to put this together. We'll see how much footage we end up with. Oh my goodness. Now, Mr. Bolt, you're so close. Why can't you just go through the cast piece? Pull all the way through, like you would do if I didn't want you to do that. Well, it's coming together, despite what it may seem like. And you're actually recording, but it's been my experience that about the 11-minute mark is when the camera goes crazy. So, sure. One more bolt to go. And then we'll put the chain on. Well, we'll actually take a link out of the chain or see if we can. And then we'll tighten it up. Just telescoping holes and pull against it. And if we do it even, it should work. These pulleys, I don't know if you can see that on film or not, but they're supposed to have like a crown to them. And that's what keeps things centered on them. Whether it be flat belts or in this case, flat chain. That little crown is what's supposed to do the trick. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't go with just an idler sprocket on here, but I guess they thought that was necessary. I don't know. Now, did I do something dumb and put like the lock washer on that side? Because I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Why did I do that? Oh, I know why I did that. I'm gonna have to do that. I'll put an old one on. I don't have another small flat washer, so for now we're just going to have to rig it up with that to try to somewhat keep it from pulling through that bigger washer. All right, brain, listen, you and I don't talk much, but you got to remember something for me. We need a lot of 5/16 by inch bolts to have on hand. Every time we go to the store, we forget that. So try to remember that and quit being such a dummy, you moron. All right. Let's just, for a gander, let's see how loose it is when you have it all the way loose. Pretty loose. I would say that I could get a link out of that and shorten it up. And if you've never seen that done, there is a tool you can put it in to hammer it. But if you tilt it like this and hammer the one link out of the other link, then you can take it apart and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna try, because I actually think I could probably go in. I don't think I'm all the way back yet. So I'm gonna try that. It's worth trying. Anything worth doing is worth doing wrong. Isn't that how it goes? So sure. And if you don't have your fancy chain breaker tool, don't fret. You got a vice grip. You can make it work. It'd probably be easier if I worked on one that was like out here in the open, wouldn't it? One that already looks crappy, you know? Look at how nice that was. Let's take this one out. Now, can we do it? I think we can. I think we'll do it. Look at that. Sweet. All right, now what you just saw is a two-edged sword, because you can actually, if you get the chain too tight and it's old chain like this chain, it'll actually start pulling these open and the chain will tear. So you got to kind of use your wits about you. You can't just crank her down and go to town. Yeah. So perhaps we might try first using the nice adjuster and seeing if that will push it evenly. And when that doesn't work, then we'll hammer on it and beat and pry and figure something out until we're in tears, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we don't have the right tools for the job. We never do, so why are we surprised? I should probably turn that one up at some point, but it's just a lot easier to ignore the problem. And let's go up there. Will that one? No, that won't work, will it? Now that one actually needs to go. If we want to turn that one against the stop, we need to go this other way. And then put a wrench in the one we want to do to tighten. Should have brought the mini impact. That little sucker would have made short work of this. Now, we're caught up. So we'll switch gears again. Now, we'll do some more chain tightening. There we go. And we're going to hope that this fixes the problem, because the only thing it could be is that it was just too loose. I don't say that's the only thing it could be. That would be the best scenario of things that could be the problem, is it being oh boys, okay, we gotta loosen that one again a little bit. Got a little over anxious a while ago. I think it could go just a shade more. That's going to be the title of my fail autobiography. Just a shade more. That's what I always think. And then make it worse. All right. I think we are going to go with that. That's pretty much better than it was. So let's tighten those down and see if that don't keep it in the center of what we wanted. All right, let's give this a go and see if it still works, or whether rather it's working now. I forgot to take the battery cable off and shut the gas off when I left a while ago, so hopefully this didn't get some strange idea to decide not to work. Beautiful. Start slow. Oh, my gloves! Corn! Well, the elevator will elevate out gloves. Well, now how do you like that? Now it's running off this side more. A while ago it was coming over this way more. I wonder if it's because it's cocked a little bit. In which case this side would need to go that way and that side would need to go that way. But it probably would work like this. I smelled rubber burning. I do. The bottom thing is locked up again. Now why has it done that thing? Earlier I could just go like the other way and unlock it. But I think now it has decided to be locked up forever. And I'm trying to figure out why. It's got like a cast bushing that's greasable, and I bet you that it's messed up. I can see that that plate is kind of messed up, and I wonder if that needs attention too. That's really bizarre that every time we try something it decides it doesn't want to work anymore. But well, progress is being made, but very slow, and I don't really know how much more of this I want to do today. But I promise you, it did go round and round and round for a good long time. See, it's burning hot now. That's why I don't want to just go in there guns blazing. Okay. Sure. No. I would say that we're going to be going in here and sorting out what we can do to this bottom shaft, because it ain't right. And somebody's already been in there. You can tell by the welding and the keyway stuff that they've done. You can tell by the fact I'm getting frustrated and ready to cut it up with a torch. But it's probably about time to call her quits. Okay, well, the sun is setting on us on our old Kentucky hunt. Well, it's not really Kentucky, so no. But we got that fixed, and now that end's messed up. So, oh, and there's what I was talking about. When you tighten it sometimes too much, look what can happen. So now we get to start all over again, friends, and take out that link and replace it with one that's not that way. That might have not been from what we did. That might have been from a while ago when the chain got wadded up under there, because it did get wadded up earlier today when I was messing with it. But yeah, see, I foresaw all of this kind of stuff before I ever committed to we were going to use that one day, because I knew, just because I had it running once before, I just knew that there would be things that wouldn't be right. So that's what we're gonna do. And yeah, I mean, we're just gonna take that link out and replace it with the straight one. Maybe the one we just took out, if it's worthy of it. Otherwise, I'll dig through my parts supply and I'll find one that's, you know, better, but I think this one will be good enough. Now the chain is running over that way a little bit, but that might be because of the torn link thing. So sure. It's always something, friends. It's always something. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well, then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. And that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.